Lady Dibble is brought to you by Lady Dibble LLC. Story time is treasure time. Giggledoon LLC. Let's see where imagination can take us. And Northeast Philadelphia Community Radio, your neighborhood voice.
Hello, welcome to my show. I'm Lady Dibble, and I'm excited to be here today. I've been wanting to share my stories with you on television for a long time. I'm going to read from my Lady Dibble series. The story is called Wanda the Action Princess and the Zigzag Hallway. Then we'll take a break from story reading. We're going to have a small program about afternoon tea, which Lady Dibble loves, and then we're going to have a short Q&A. Afterwards, I'll read a second Lady Dibble story. Are you ready? Listen closely. This is the first story of the program, Wanda the Action Princess and the Zigzag Hallway. Once upon a time, there was a castle in a town called Kent. 5 people lived in the castle: the king of the realm, King Thomas, his wife, Queen Agnes, their daughter, 10-year-old Princess Wanda, Chef Melisette, who had changed her name from Chef Maria, and Archibald, the court jester. Castle Kent, as it was known to all, was a big place. Although there were only 3 floors, the castle was huge. There were rooms after rooms after rooms, so many one lost count. And one more thing about the castle. There was only one hallway on the main floor, and this hallway was very, very long. The hallway did not split the castle rooms in half down the middle like in a lot of castles. There was something a little different about this hallway. When one entered the castle from the front, the hallway was located on the right side of the room, and in the very next room, the hallway continued but was located on the left side of the room. It switched like that in all the rooms from the front of the castle to the back of the castle. Have you ever heard of that? And all rooms were separated by walls. So what this meant was this. If you were walking down the right side of the room in the right-sided hallway and were at the end, you would have to walk through the main room to get to the other side of the hallway on the left side of the room. And then when you were finished with that left hallway, you would have to walk through the main gate. You'd have to walk through the main room again to get back to the right-sided hallway to make your way through the castle. It was a zigzag. Wanda was 10, so she wouldn't walk from the right-sided hallway of the room to the left, and from the left to the right, she would run. That was far more fun. But Wanda was a sensitive and caring little girl. She thought about others. She wondered how the other members of Castle Kent, her father King Thomas, her mother Queen Agnes, her friend Chef Melisette, and her other buddy Court Jester Archibald all managed to go about the day using this zigzag hallway. Well, Wanda was about to find out. It was the afternoon, nap time. Life at Castle Kent was always full of activity. So this was the part of the day where King Thomas, Queen Agnes, Chef Melisette, and Court Jester Archibald could relax and get some much-needed shut-eye. Everyone was retiring to their quarters on the second floor. In order to do that, they had to follow the zigzag hallway to the back staircase or to the elevator. There on the second floor, Wanda accompanied everyone to their quarters. She liked to do this. "Father," she said, "I noticed you are out of breath. What is going on? I have noticed this the past few days, but I didn't say anything to you. It doesn't matter if you take the stairs or if you take the elevator. What is the matter?" "My dear Wanda," said the king, "I'm afraid I'm out of breath. I guess I'm out of shape. So that zigzag hallway really gets to me. I have to do much more walking to move from one part of the castle to the next, to get from point A to point B. Turn this corner, then turn that corner. Why on earth did they build a zigzag hallway in the first place? Well, Father, if you are out of shape, then walking is certainly good for you, said Wanda. But let me think about this. Maybe there is a solution. Something more convenient, she said. Queen Agnes was next. Mother, how are you doing? Wanda asked. Does the zigzag hallway bother you? Let me know how you are feeling about it. Well, Wanda, come here. I want to show you something. So Wanda followed her mother into the clothes closet. Look at this, Wanda. Many of my dresses are ripped at the bottom. This is what that zigzag hallway has caused. Turning all those corners, going right to left and left to right. My dresses have snagged and ripped as they have caught on something at the bottom corners of the walls during all the turns. I am upset at this because it keeps on occurring. Maybe if I had shorter dresses, this wouldn't happen as much, but I have a lot of long flowy dresses that reach the floor. Oh my, said her daughter. I can surely see the problem that you are having. Chef Melissette heard this conversation, could not help but join in. Yes, Wanda, I have a problem too with this zigzag hallway. My food cart keeps bumping into the walls because I have trouble turning it. Not only that, I keep making dents in the walls from crashing into them. When I try to turn the corner, my bowls tip over and my soup spill all over the place. When I crash into the wall, all my dishes topple on top of each other, so my plate presentation is ruined. What a mess indeed. I can't serve a messy plate here at the castle. Gosh, Mary said, that is a problem for you and for everybody else. Let's see what we are going to do about it, said Wanda. Wanda just knew that Court Jester Archibald would have an opinion too, but Wanda didn't know what kind of problem the zigzag hallway presented for him. She would soon know. Oh, Wanda, Wanda, Court Jester Archibald called out loud. I know what everybody is talking about, that zigzag hallway. Well, I have to give you my 2 cents about that too. There I was the other day trying my very best to carry all my joke books from the main floor to the second. And you know what that meant was I had to go to the length of the castle to do that because the staircase and the elevator are both located there. I was trying to balance all those books in my arms as I walked down the right-sided hallway. But then, as I turned left to go to the main room to the left-sided hallway, I lost my balance and everything fell on the floor. So I picked it all up, started again, and what do you think happened? I made it down the left-sided hallway with all the books, but when I turned to go to the right, I lost my balance again and all the books fell on the floor. That was too much for me. There must be another way. Wanda's eyes opened wide. Gee, Archibald, she said, I don't blame you for being frustrated. There must be something that could be done. Wanda always had so much fun in the zigzag hallway. She never imagined it would be so problematic for everyone else in the castle. So, Wanda took the staircase back to the main floor and walked around. She went through all the rooms back to the front of the castle. Then she turned around and walked through all the rooms back to the back of the castle. As she was walking, she ran her finger along the wall. She had done this many times before. This time, however, she felt something odd under her finger. She stopped what she was doing and examined the spot more closely. She had found a big button on the wall. So what do you think she did? Why, she pushed the button, of course. And what do you think happened? A door, which had previously been undetected, opened wide. This is a door, Wanda explained. But a door to where, she wondered. Wanda saw Court Jester Archibald and Chef Melissette in the distance. She called out to them. Archibald, Melissette, come here, please. I have found something. I want to investigate. Let's go together. The door opened to a beautiful wooden staircase surrounded by beautifully decorated walls. There was an elevator too. Gorchester, Archibald, Chef Melissette, and Wanda were speechless. This was all quite new to them. They looked astonished. And there was something more, something unexpected. There was no zigzag hallway, but a singular straight hallway down the middle to the other end. Do you know what this means? Wanda said to her friends. This is the answer right here to everyone's problems. Chef Millie said, you can use the straight hallway for your cart. No more corners to turn and no more crashes. And for you, Archibald, you won't have to lose your balance any longer when you need to go from one end of the castle to the other. This straight hallway will be easy for you to navigate and carry your books without dropping them. And for my father, he doesn't have to expend so much energy going side to side in the zigzag hallway. He can come down here and walk straight through. Although walking is good exercise, he has a choice. And Mother doesn't have to worry as much about her dresses ripping as she turns corners. Look, there are way less corners here to worry about. It's perfect for her. Wanda could not wait to tell her parents the news. And with that, Wanda was very happy. She had discovered something new in the castle that fixed everything. 10-year-old Wanda, Wanda the Action Princess, was indeed proud of herself. The end. What did you think of that story? I enjoyed writing it very much. Before I read the next one, I thought you'd like to hear some questions people have asked me. First question, how long does it take you to write a story? Well, that depends. Anywhere from 1 week to 2 months. It's very, very emotional and expends a lot of energy. Sometimes I laugh at myself at the stories I write, but sometimes I cry too when they're not going too well. Second question, why do you mix afternoon tea with storytelling? Well, that is because people started calling me Lady Dibble in England, where tea is very popular. So I like to link the two, tea and storytelling. I like the ooh and ah factor when people see the nice spread I have and what I have prepared. Question 3. Where can you go to have afternoon tea in this area in New Jersey? Well, I know of a few places. One in Chester, Flemington, Princeton, and Westfield, but I'm sure there's more. Fourth question. I wanted to organize my own afternoon tea event. What do I need to do? Well, all you need is a nice location, a terrace, a balcony, a nice room, outside in the yard. But I'm going to show you how to have a nice atmosphere when we come back next.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Hi, welcome to Lady Dibble's afternoon tea presentation. Look what we have here. We'll start off with the tower or 3-tier service tray. On the bottom we have the finger sandwiches. We have pumpernickel with cottage cheese and salmon, dill and cucumber, and watercress and egg. In the middle we have scones, which I made myself with strawberry jam, strawberries as a decoration. And at top we have the desserts. We have both macarons, the fruity ones here, and macaroons, the coconut ones. We have a red velvet cupcake, and we have a brownie. Look what else we have on a nice table for a nice atmosphere and presentation. I have some flowers here, blue color, to match this blue tablecloth, which I sewed myself. We have the blue and white tea service. We have place card. We have a table number. You want to make sure you see my nice perfume bottle from Scotland. Isn't it pretty? I have some chocolate coins, and I also have some blue lollipops, can't miss this coffee cake. It's actually a marble cake. And we have nice little white plates with napkin rings and some silverware. There you have it for a nice Lady Dibble tea atmosphere. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, at these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Hi there. We're back to storytelling. We're back to my next story, Wanda the Action Princess and the Clock. Wanda and the other inhabitants of Castle Kent, her father King Thomas, her mother Queen Agnes, her friends Chef Marisette and Court Jester Archibald were all happily living in Castle Kent. It was, however, the time of year for it to happen. It? What does one mean by it? Well, it was time to change the clock. This time of the year, daylight savings time was coming to an end. That meant the clock would get turned back 1 hour. Yes, clock, not clocks. You see, Castle Kent only had one clock. That's right. This big castle had one clock, just one clock. And anything to do with time at Castle Kent meant chaos. One might wonder why there was only one clock in Castle Kent. It seems that years ago, King Thomas's great-grandfather, a former king, did not want people to be obsessed with time. It took away from people's enjoyment of things, always running around full of stress, trying to make appointments and meet deadlines. So for this reason, he installed just one tall wooden pendulum clock on the main floor and composed the Clock Edict. The edict read like this: Hear ye, hear ye. From this day forward, there will be one clock and one clock only in Castle Kent. Wristwatches and pocket watches weren't allowed either. In all, this system worked pretty well. People used other methods to keep track. Sundials, the position of the sun during the day and the moon at night. And people created their own ways of keeping time. But sometimes these methods became a problem. That is when people got mixed up. One day in present time, Wanda needed to talk to her father, King Thomas. She sought him out after lunch. She needed to talk to him privately. "Father," said Wanda, "I need your help. I thought you could help me get ready for something that I must do, but I don't know your schedule." "Oh, certainly, Wanda, I will be able to help you. Come over here and we will make some plans," said her father, King Thomas. As he was looking at his fingers, his face turned from a happy face to a confused face. He tried to hide it. So he looked at Wanda, then he looked at his fingers. Looked at Wanda again, then he looked at his fingers. "What are you doing, Father?" Wanda asked. "Why, Wanda, I'm looking at my fingers to help me tell time, to help me keep a schedule. I have all kinds of thin strings tied around my fingers to help me remember different things and the time of day I have to do them. These 4 colored strings are for morning, noon, afternoon, and night. These lighter colored strings are for activities that last only a few minutes. These darker colored strings are for activities that last longer. Everything is all worked out. That clock on the main floor is far too far away from me to always keep checking. This is much easier. I'm like a walking timetable. I change my strings every morning after I make my schedule for the day." But in reality, he was trying to convince himself that his system worked. But really, it really didn't. He could never tell what time it was. He had too many strings for too many reminders. And King Thomas used his hands a lot, so his strings kept moving out of place. There were so many appointments, he got them all mixed up. Wanda was a smart girl. She knew there was something fishy about all those strings. I'm going to figure this out, Wanda said as she walked away from her father. Since Wanda didn't get very far with her dad, she decided to go see her mom, Queen Agnes, to ask for assistance. "Oh, Mom, Wanda called out. "I was wondering if you could help me with something. I thought you would come over tomorrow after breakfast." "Tomorrow after breakfast? I will have to ask my wardrobe consultant, who is now my assistant, if I can do that. She keeps my schedule because I can never remember the time of the day I have to do something. Let's call her and ask her about it." Queen Agnes's wardrobe consultant assistant was named Saffron Sapphire Longbottom, Saffy for short. Ring, ring goes the telephone. "Hello, Saffy. How are you? Look, I was wondering if you could tell me about my schedule tomorrow after breakfast. My daughter needs me, and I don't know what to tell her when I'm free." "What? Quit? You gave in your notice? Why did you quit? You were tired of trying to organize my schedule without a clock? Honestly? You did not tell me that. How did I miss this little piece of information?" said Queen Agnes. Click. Queen Agnes hung up the telephone. "Now what am I going to do? I can never tell what time it is. That clock on the main floor is way too far for anyone to always keep track." Wanda watched her mother, Queen Agnes. She saw her mother was very frustrated at not knowing her schedule and what time it was. "My mother needs to learn how to be independent in this area and do for herself. I'm going to have to figure this out," Wanda said. Wanda could just imagine what she was about to uncover in the kitchen. Just did how Chef Marisette cooked all those wonderful things without a clock. I can't imagine her running all the way down the main floor, through the zigzag hallways, just to see what time it was. Maybe she used her nose to smell that things were done. Maybe she let the water drip and counted all the drops she heard in the sink. Maybe she made soapy sudsy water and figured out the time it took for all the many bubbles to disappear. The oven did have a window. One could always see what was cooking there. And looking at the stove was easy enough. She must have a system, Wanda thought. So Mary said, "How are you doing in the kitchen?" "You know, Wanda, I'm having a bit of difficulty today. I fell asleep and overcooked my recipes. The meat is tough, the hard-boiled eggs have shrunk, and the milk has disappeared from the pot. What's more, the dessert is ruined because I left it on the counter too long. It should have been in the refrigerator. I don't know what I'm going to do now," said Chef Marisette. "This is not the first time such a cooking disaster has happened. I have learned that being a good cook takes focus and concentration. But I am stressed out if I can't time my recipes correctly," she continued. "Well, this is going to change. If we don't get a handle on this, the kitchen might fall to pieces," Wanda said out loud. "Oh, Wanda, my dear girl." Wanda heard her friend Court Jester Archibald calling her. "Can you come here for a moment? I have something I want to talk to you about." "Okay, Archibald, here I come." "What is it? What's the matter?" she asked. "Oh, Wanda, I have not only double booked my performances, but I have triple booked them. I have scheduled 3 at the same time. How am I going to appear in 3 places at once? I'm supposed to appear on stage in the castle, I'm supposed to appear outside in front of the castle, and I'm supposed to appear as a guest performer in the village, all at 3 in the afternoon. I got the times mixed up. I was not paying attention and scheduled everything at once. It is so inconvenient not to have more clocks around. I would pay more attention if I had a clock nearby. I just can't keep the time straight the way it is now. This just can't stay like this," said Wanda. There is definitely a problem at Castle Kent that needs fixing, she said. Wanda had quite a challenge before her. The 1 o'clock rule had been in existence for a long time. She would have to approach her father, the king, about changing the rule. She would need his signature. This is one time where Wanda didn't have to think so hard about a solution. The castle needed more clocks, and that was that. Everyone in the castle needed to have his or her own clock to help them in their lives. So, this is what Wanda did. She took out some paper and a fancy pen, and she wrote the following. Change of edict. The new clock rule for Castle Kent. Let it be known that the old rule is forthwith abolished. Finally. She ran to her father, who signed it immediately. Right away, Wanda thought about improvements for everyone. For starters, the king could place a grandfather's clock in the throne room. A grandfather's clock would be sentimental, and he could pay tribute to his great-grandfather. Mother would get a few charming necklace watches because she loved fashion so much. Chef Marie-Sèvres would not only receive an oven clock, but a kitchen wall clock as well. Archibald would get a nice digital calendar clock for his appointments. And Wanda, what did she get? Wanda picked out a colorful wristwatch she could have fun with. And with that, everyone was happy. Everything was fixed. And 10-year-old Wanda, Wanda the Action Princess, was indeed proud of herself. The end. How did you like my stories? Wanda and her solutions. That's what it's all about. Solutions for everything. Well, my story time has come to an end. Thanks for watching. Story time is treasure time.
Lady Dibble is brought to you by Lady Dibble LLC. Story time is treasure time. Giggledoon LLC. Let's see where imagination can take us. And Northeast Philadelphia Community Radio, your neighborhood voice.